Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that Kuro Games has followed through on their marketing preparations for version 3.0 because we've got perhaps one of the biggest reveals yet for the game. Full gameplay in Lynae Roy Star Torch Academy featuring Lynae and Mornye. Full gameplay, 6 minutes worth. And I might be the last person on the train actually, uploading my reacting to it, and, giving my take. You can already see Marco Meatball over here, Rate Up Radio. But I wanted to actually share this moment on stream. So make sure to catch me on twitch.tv/Sane and Kick.to editor. You put that shit on the screen for the next time we do something like this. Without further ado, I've heard a lot of great things, a lot of promising, takes about what's in store for us. So let's just go ahead, give it a look ourselves, and see how the cookie's gonna crumble. Okay, so just starting off with a bit of like a full frontal view of some of the units. We got Mornye over here. And, yeah, okay. So she looks like a combination of like, first thing that I'll say is that she kind of looks like a combination to me of like a Jinsei and a Shorekeeper. Yeah, like a Jinsei where she like kind of uses the greatsword like a little bit, but then she's got like the lasers popping out. So maybe that's more like Zhang Liao, if I'm frankly being honest. And Punishing Grey Raven enjoyers, this definitely reminds me of like one of the starting forms of Liv that you get. She shoots those little orbital lasers too. I've always been of the opinion that this character was all about precision and calibration and stuff. I said that maybe she's calibrating a cannon. That might be what she's actually doing. And it looks like she, like, injures herself after attacking too much. Oh! Okay, now we got Lynae. It looks like she got roller skates. And she just shoots while on roller skates? Not gonna lie, that kind of reminded me of Carlotta a little bit over there. But she's, like... she's way taller than Carlotta. But yeah, that move over there, where she kind of, like, does, like, the little back twirl, and then the explosion happens behind her. Yeah, that looks a little bit like Carlotta to me, but... maybe it's just pistol users are built different. But yeah, it just looks like that's her regular movement. Yeah, she's just always roller skating. I don't think she ever walks, but I guess she doesn't walk. She just gets on her goddamn motorcycle. And that's telling me that this game is going to have a radio system. Did you notice how the Fenrico song started playing right after she got on? Right here. And you can hear it like... Unless that was added in post-processing, I'm pretty sure there's a radio player on the vehicle. I'm pretty sure everyone gets their own vehicle too, right? I don't think it's just Lynae. I think everyone gets their own. Wait, I think I saw something in the description over here. Rovers will take the new utility Expedition Motorbike to explore the brand new area, Lynae Roy. Okay, so yeah, it's not just Lynae. And so I guess my theory from before is coming true. Everyone's gonna get a bike, but then some of the playable characters are probably gonna have their own unique version of their vehicle, specifically if they're a 3.x unit. So, yeah, it looks like that's gonna be the new exploration mechanic. The new Lynae Roy characters get their own custom vehicle, but everyone else is gonna get their own baseline motorbike. Yeah, imagine having to pay $200 for the privilege of the exploration. Yeah, imagine having to pay and pull on a limited banner to be able to access the exploration mechanic of the new region. Yeah, I couldn't imagine a game on this planet that would stoop so low as to pay gate the core new feature, coming in a version update. Yeah, I can't think of a game in recent memory that's done that. Not within the last 2 years. Not a single one comes to mind. What an awful predatory thing to do, right, guys? Okay, the driving mechanics look pretty solid as well. We got a little first-person view, too. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Okay, that's cool. Looks like the beta testing that they did with the Galbraina part of that story quest is coming through, ladies and gentlemen. Wuthering Waves is now an FPS. Just wait until we can shoot on this thing. Looks like a boss arena. Okay, looks like we're gonna get a bit of a boss fight. Our first look in actual combat over here. Is that Lynae's voice? Okay, she sounds very American. No wonder she shoots guns. Not surprising at all. Of course, the first American accented character. The first American accented character in 3 years shoots guns. Are you trying to say something, Kuro Games? Some could say Chisa counts, but she's more like Asian American. And that's why she's good at math. Y'all didn't think about that, did you? Yeah, Chisa's a genius. Yeah, she's really good at math. And the American character shoots guns. 2.8 and 3.0 are getting off to a crazy start. I'm just gonna be honest. Okay, look at this. Okay, bro is just shooting off lasers, and it looks like we're going off against a mecha that also shoots sword blades. This is the region of Gundams, ladies and gentlemen. There has to be a Gundam character, and I'm pretty sure, yes, the story is going to involve us resurrecting a giant Gundam. That looks... Wait, does it have tits? Is that a...
One more.
It does.
Don't blink. You'll miss the best.
That's a pretty crazy ultimate animation. Wait. So she's got like a... Wait, let's just take a look at the Lynae moveset for a second over here. Like, I was like focusing on the enemy. Let's take a look at her moveset first. Okay. Very mobile playstyle. This looks like a DPS to me. I'm just gonna be honest. This looks like a DPS character to me, but then again, I could have said the same thing about a Lupa or a Chu Yan. So maybe she buffs after doing all of this? I don't really know, though. It doesn't really look like it to me. Yeah, she's just, like, throwing grenades and, like, blowing up these motherfuckers. Alright, now we got Mornye. Alright. Oh, she flies. Oh, okay. So remember what I said about her and her precision and calibration probably being lasers? Yeah, that's what this looks like over here. It looks like she's shooting a bunch of... I thought she was going to be a healer. Maybe... I don't know. Does she heal with 5 orbital cannons? Maybe she's a healer. Maybe that's a healing beam. It's probably not a healing beam, though, because it's hitting the enemy, and it looks like it looks like a nuke. This looks like the shit from Invincible. This looks like a Hail Mary, bro. Like...
Authorizing maximum output.
Bro, is she solving the source code? What the fuck is this, man? This is like instead of judgment cut, this is like geometry cut. What the fuck? Holy shit. Wait. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just need to see the sequence again. Wait! Lynae's just doing shit off field. Wait, maybe she is like a sub DPS. Wait, what is she doing? I was focused on Mornye. What is she doing, bro? She was there for like an additional like 5 seconds. Look at what Lynae is. She has some off-field attacks. Yeah, intro skill in on Mornye over here, and then Lynae's just like doing some shit with like her motorcycle. Yeah, maybe that's just an extended outro skill, potentially. Okay. Yeah, I mean, both of them kind of look like DPS characters to me. The fact that that unit, like, flies, shoots around the lasers, looks evasive, it could be Yuno vibes as well. I don't know the roles of these characters, and I would just say that, yeah, some of the past releases from Kuro Games is probably the reason for why. Where, you know, a lot of individuals, they would look at her animations and think she's a DPS. They would look at his animations and then think he's a DPS. They could think that she's a DPS as well, but, like, none of these characters are, like, actually DPSs. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna wait for the full kit detail reveals. All I know is that both of their playstyles look extremely fluid. They look like they move around a lot, which I guess some people might be really happy with. But yeah, very, very, very crazy looking animations, unique art styles. Mornye is a good callback to sci-fi, and then, you know, I think Lynae definitely has it all when it comes to that whole, like, punk aesthetic, troublemaker, graffiti, street. Okay, what the hell is this? She's got a charged attack.
Need a ride, sweetheart?
Okay.
Assuming master control. Locked in.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Lynae's moveset is really interesting. Maybe she isn't a damage dealer because her rotation does look kind of short.
Access confirmed. Order executed.
So yeah, that looks like her forte. Her forte looks like her shooting down an orbital beam, and then her liberation's a different animation.
Initiating criticality protocol.
But yeah. Yeah, maybe she's a DPS, bro. Yeah, maybe she's a DPS.
Drive safe.
I like that the motorcycle's used in her animations. She's got like a bit of a charged attack.
And call that my signature.
And that's a nice little slow-mo over there. Even the voice line cuts out. I think the voices seem pretty good. The voices seem pretty solid. I know some people, they might be a little bit upset with the voice work. Yeah, okay, yeah, and I already know that this character's already going to have some... This is why I said this character should probably be a DPS, because I already know half of y'all are gooning just from that slow-mo alone. I already know half of y'all are gooning just from this section over here. And I'm just like, hey, the more that you freaks see this character on field, the better for Kuro Games. Yep, the better for Kuro Games. So maybe she should be a DPS. All right. Looks like they're having a bit of a black cut over here. So like I said before, voice work does seem a little bit interesting. Bit of a callback to the American accent. Mornye seems to have like a little bit of something going on. Very, very, very soft voice. But it does fit her vibe. It does fit her aesthetic. She's got that, you know, very like graceful, elegant look, and her moveset's very like, you know, she's very like floaty and stuff, you know, just like dashes around in the air. Makes sense to me. And then like, you know, the delinquent troublemaker over here on the roller skates, very, very, very evasive. I mean, the movesets, they look solid. I would just say it doesn't have the level of... I'm thinking back to some of the prior gameplay reveals that we've had for version 2.0 with Carlotta, right? And then we also had version 2.6s as well. Hey, Noisy, appreciate the subs. Hey, we had version 2.6 as well with Augusta and Yuno. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like the Augusta Yuno one kind of overshadows this reveal. And I don't necessarily know how I feel about that one. Yeah, because these characters, when they were teased, I'm not gonna lie, I think their animations, their hype, all of that is a little bit higher. That would be the take that I make, because I think Kuro Games might have overdone the budget a little bit for these two. Yeah, and the end result is that when you release a crazy good product like this, your new products will be compared to your old products because the old ones were so good. And I think this is a circumstance where the old product does shine a little bit brighter, but the hype of this one is still nice. They just cooked too hard a couple of months ago. I think most people can agree on that. All right. Okay, this is the new forest area where you have like all of these little dudes. They love you. Yeah, I like this. I like that they have like a fantasy zone. I think a fantasy zone like this is always good in these types of games. Even when we're in the sci-fi area with the laser cannons and stuff, this is always a nice little, you know, variety in the scenery. So, I'm a huge fan of this. Oh, it's even got like the pink, purple. Oh, I feel like I'm in like some fairy forest, like an Elderwood fairy forest. Bro, how many can you accumulate? What is this groovy ass track, bro? Is this like legit? Wait, it's a goddamn Disney movie, bro. Why is it bumping like this? Holy. How does this fit into like the frozen wasteland? Oh, this is a fun little puzzle. Wait, the animations on this look insane. What did they like? Wait, holy moly. These things are bouncing, bro. So they combined the music with the puzzles. Combining the music with the puzzles. That's pretty good. Yeah, they bounce with the music. This is a neat little exploration. This is a neat little exploration bit. I'm glad that they showed this. I will say though, I hope not all of them are like this because there's kind of a lot of like just like waiting. And like, I'm not gonna lie, that platform moved fucking slow. You were on that shit for like 10 seconds. Oh, they're bringing back the platformer. Okay, they do this every once in a while. Okay, wait. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna revise my statement. They probably need to make this a little bit more interactive. Okay, this part's better. I was gonna say the start was like them running for like 20 seconds. Okay, here we go. All right. The visuals of this area, though, are absolutely insane. Like the grass physics and stuff like that. I don't know if that's what it's actually going to look like in-game. It's going to blow somebody's computer up. Missed 2 chests. Yeah, make sure you memorize. Yeah, make sure we backseat the PlayStation gamer. Yeah, make sure we backseat the PlayStation gamer. They got it. They got to get the good exploration going. All right, looks like that's how the gameplay was sort of like split out. They had like their little exploration piece over here. Then they had the combat. I think the exploration seemed pretty neat at first glance, but then I think the example that they showed over here didn't look like the most interactive. So maybe they'll add things like some enemies or something along those lines to kind of spice it up a little bit. Because, yeah, there were like some moments in here where it's like literally like just walking. And while the environment and the scenery is nice, I don't know how nice it's going to be doing like the 7th iteration of this. Right? Like the 7th, like, because this looks like something that's going to be repeated across the region. I don't know how I would feel on the 7th time that I do something like this. Just the take over there. When it comes to the units, yeah, I'm just gonna say overall, the new animations, the new enemy types, all of that, it looks great. I'm not sure if we got to see any of the special tune break mechanics that they talked about as a new combat feature. Maybe, like, that's some of, like, the iconic attacks that are being used over here, like her throwing, like, whatever grenades and then doing, like, a dolphin dive on them, and then Mornye using her orbital cannon. But I will say, the vibes aren't necessarily at the same level. I wouldn't say the hype or the excitement, at least from this reveal, like I said before, is at the same level of what we saw for Wuthering Waves 2.6, right? Who even leaked the Augusta one? I don't even remember where the Augusta one even came from. Was it like Jeff Keighley? Was it like Jeff Keighley? Was it IGN? Yeah, it seems like Wuwa's just getting passed around these massive publishers, bro. The main point is that I think that there might have been, I don't know. Again, I'm reflecting back to the reveal of these two. I viewed like 2.0, where they released Carlotta, right? That one was super hype. And then this one has built up on that hype. And I'm not necessarily sure. Maybe I'm going to have to see the reaction at like a later point. Obviously, there's a lot of people that are very, very, very interested right now. I don't know. It feels like the hype for some of the other reveals has been a little bit higher. And maybe that's because people just like the fantasy vibe a lot better. Maybe that's just, you know, like the whole like Genshin Impact appeal of, you know, like swords, you know, medieval stuff, that sort of thing, it really just shines through for a lot of people. Maybe it's just me as well, but the whole like sci-fi thing, it didn't move me that much. I mean, like, Mornye's animations and stuff, they're all, like, super cool. They're all, like, super great. But I think the Lynae side of the equation does make it seem a little bit more grounded for me. I think one of the things that I mentioned about Mornye, or about Lynae's kit, was that I was really looking forward to her use of color to, you know, brighten up the gameplay that you were going to be having. And one of the examples that I used of that color was the stuff that they did with this character, right? When his forte actually gets used, he, like, turns the world, right, black and white, and does, like, this really, really, really sick stuff in the gameplay. And I was, like, kind of expecting Lynae to do something similar, considering her big emphasis on color. And I guess the fact that it seems like a lot of, like, her animations and stuff are vibrant, but they do seem to be, like, a little bit short, and a little bit short-lived. At least in comparison to some of the other kits that I've seen, some of the other animations. So maybe there's some additional stuff that's going to happen. Maybe the developers put this out kind of early just to get, like, some additional takes. But yeah, I'm personally, I think it looks cool. I think there's a lot of neat stuff going on. I think there's a good amount of fan service as well for the people that enjoy that. But yeah, I mean, she's got a unique blend of roller skating, biking. I just think the VFX for me, on Lynae could be a little bit more, they could be a little bit more all-encompassing, just to show off that color a bit more. Because if we're gonna think about it from the perspective of screen clarity and stuff, and, like, knowing what's going on, guys, I think with Mornye's reveal, just look at what this character does. I think that ship has already sailed. Yeah, I don't think us not knowing what's going on because there's too much shit on the screen, I don't think your critique for my suggestion on Lynae makes very much sense when this is literally what your screen looks like when you use Mornye's abilities. I see the entire RGB color spectrum on the screen right now. Look, there's literally a rainbow over here. There's, like, orange. There's, like, dark blue, purple. It's got green. Like, it's every single color in the rainbow is on the screen right now. In what universe does Mornye have more color in her animations than the color-focused character? That's what I'm saying. Or is that Lynae's rainbow? I don't even know, bro. I don't even know at this point. It looks like it's a part of her animations at this point. It looks like it's... Okay. That looked like a planet, and it looked like she's orbital striking the planet. Maybe that was intended. I don't know, but that's a cool effect that they can do if it shines together. But I guess the fact that I confused Lynae's rainbow as a part of Mornye's animation does kind of show maybe it could be a little... That's a little weak. Right? Like, let's just be real here. That's a little weak, isn't it? That's not... That, like, compared to what we saw for Mornye, that's a little... What the fuck is that? What the hell is that in comparison? Do you guys get what I'm talking about for, like, the VFX are a little... I feel like they could be a little bit more pronounced. Like, guys, that's Lynae's stuff. And then Mornye's doing this, bro. Like... Bro, she's literally she's literally flashbanging you. This is Mornye. Come on, guys. We can't be complaining about Lynae's potential over here. That's going to be our reaction to this, our reaction to the overall aesthetics. Like I said before, I think Mornye really is the highlight of the show for this one. But I would say overall, as like a hype building thing, doesn't reach the levels of 2.6, 2.0, or 2.4 for me. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. I still think the reveal looks great. And of course, we've got the stuff like the motorbike travel and all of that. That stuff is entirely separate from the characters. That brings a level of hype of its own, right? I think this is super cool and super great. I'm just talking about the individual character reveals themselves with some of these critiques over here. One thing I will say, though, just as like a final note, is I don't see the fusion, boys. I guess unless you want to use like the whole lore of, yeah, she's a plasma blaster, the fusion doesn't make that much sense to me, and the broad blade makes even less sense. That part is even more confusing, but I'll just leave you all with that one. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.